Thank you, Kenneth. This is a wonderful question. Authoritarianism in general, military dictatorship in general is repressive in nature, right? However, Burmese military was known for their brutal behaviors, historic record of brutalities against the civilian or people of Burma for decades, since 1962. So I grew up, as you said, I grew up under previous military dictatorship. So my childhood was in early 1990s, and I understand from the very young age how repressive the Burmese military was. I was just like, 4 or 5 years old when my father was taken away in front of me brutally by the police and locked up for several months. And I grew up with this image of my father being taken away in front of me, and it still traumatized me. And I remember that we had no freedom of expressions. We cannot even use the word to democracy or human rights or Do Aung San Suu Kyi. And we had no freedom of informations or access to informations. We cannot even listen news, the international news or radio, and we can be caught up or be arrested. And there was no freedom. Every single activities has been monitored. There was no freedom at all. And when I was 18, I was arrested along with my family, my father, and the rest of the family members, and sentenced to 17 years at the age of 18, just barely 18. That was extremely cruel to young person to be treated as criminal and being sentenced to such a long imprisonment for doing nothing. I thought no young people should face similar situations. Now, we had 10 years of so-called political opening, and there was a lot of mistake that I believe has taken us to this military coup. One of the biggest mistake that the leaders in democratic leaders in Myanmar and international community has made was the impunity that for the military, for their past crimes, they were not just only repressive against the people, but they committed so many serious human rights violations against the ethnic community, against students before 2010 political reform. And all of these violations, serious human rights violations, were given immune or given impunity for those past crimes, and there was no transitional justice processes. There were no accountability and no no justice at all for this crime. I think that is the main reason that the military has the military institutions in Myanmar has become stronger in terms of their brutalities, cruel. They become more cruel and more brutal against than ever before. We had repressions, human rights violations, serious human rights violations, but when you track their record, they become more and more cruel, as they enjoy impunities for decades. Now, this is the same institutions, but it's a more sophisticated one, more ruthless, more cruel than ever. Why? Because they enjoyed impunity and they continue to enjoy impunity. Now you see within this 8 months, they detain almost 10,000 people. It is individuals. These are daughters, sons, and family, parents of people, human beings. And they kill over 1,000 people. And the tactic that they've been using against the people is in nature widespread and systematic. They are systematically killing and arresting people for exercising their freedom of expression. And that's why I say they become more cruel, more brutal than ever. And this is very, very dangerous.
I see your point, because it seems like they have learned the wrong kind of lesson, because they learned the lesson that they can get away with it.
Yes.
That
Yes, they feel like, yes, we can continue to repress and we will get away from here, and we will do everything, every means possible to control the country, and we will be able to get away from here too. So that's what the message that they have, and that has to be stopped.
That's right.